go for a holiday shortened week. What's going on, everybody? Big shout out to the chat. And just to kick it off, we had no market. The market was closed yesterday, so any day the market's closed, we're not going to do anything, even though even I missed it. But and it will be closed Monday. Market will be closed Monday, so of course nothing then. And this will actually give me an opportunity to shift our schedule to twice a week. So I've come the new year, we will go Tuesdays and Thursdays. Going to do more on the website, and I'll have probably more one-off events. But starting, really now, we go Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's going to help me out tremendously. I need a little more time right now, especially going into the new year. So big shout out to everybody. How's everyone doing in the chat? How was your Christmas? Holidays going? Hope all is well. Markets settling in to wrap up one of the worst years on record. And many stocks like Tesla down here at their hop levels. Tesla just hit the hop at 113.12, now trading 112.50. Deeply oversold. But what do you make of that? As I've been saying last couple of weeks, this thing is crashing. Nothing here yet other than the hop level. Take a look, even HSI on your weekly hasn't even touched. Nothing there. Ever since that failed 180, we were looking at a few weeks ago, but could not get above that and rolled right over. What I want to look for on Tesla is to get an oversold registered indicator pop out if that is amplified, which is deeply oversold, or HSI. So 113 is just a starting point, folks. Keep an eye on it. Markets are, they're bouncing around. They're, now basically flat on the day. I think the big proposition is, what are we doing down here? Are we going to stabilize now on this, what we're rolling over? Here's NASDAQ on the daily. And we have a couple of really crazy HSI signals that have developed on NASDAQ, and this being the one of them today is checking back. About 10,900 on the futures. And S&P 500, we talked about that as well last week. Look, at 3850 or so was where it triggered on HSI. And now checking back your one, and well, you need a bullish close today. That's above 3875. Then you might have a little counter trend bounce right off of just last week's oversold conditions. So S&P, all right, trying to hold, and we've said this, between the bearish pattern 4140 and 3833. Those are the two levels. The thing about both NASDAQ, S&P 500, markets in general, it's not going to take much for this to be a massive failure. So you're out of room, especially in S&P, where this has to continue. Essentially, it looks like that trend line's already violated. Those lows have to hold. There's really nothing underneath that 3,800 level. You fail that, you just keep bumping stops up. Where stops might have been on the long term before 3,550, they're now 3,800. And just keep ratcheting that up. The big stocks, the Apples of the world. Let me go over there, the futures platform here. Apple, Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, and I think Apple, start right at the top. trying to stabilize on, here's your daily. Actually, the daily is what we're on for most of these. Couple of patterns. There's a type 2 bat. It's kind of stretched out. The only thing we really care about right now is we're looking for one bullish day. You're looking for one bullish day here, folks, to do something. A bullish day, and then like a 1 bar, 3 bar breakout. You're down in this zone. Is it going to do anything? This is the problem. This is the problem, absolutely. You're down here retesting major zones, 138, 137. 127 was one of the lower triggers we had. I think that was a weekly. But, 130, somewhere right in this area. What was the weekly? Don't think there was anything on the weekly. Weekly doesn't look good, and a lot of these charts on the weekly do not look, if there's something on the daily, the weekly is kind of overpowering it. So you're out of time, space, money on all of that. Where Apple, 122, under 122, it's a total failure. So, oof. Oh, and not to mention, don't forget, earnings coming up, only 4 weeks away on Apple earnings. So what that does, the first week of January is really going to tell you if it's a straight on. If we fail, and this is the thing about this week, next couple days, that if you don't produce a bullish candle, or let's just say we drift lower into the new year, then the likelihood of just gapping through the hop is definitely there. You need this thing to rally like today. You really do. You need this thing to do something in the next 4 hours. Or you've got major problems starting next week. And I mean major, because that's the second half of the whole deal. 2023 could be the second half of the bear market that happens in half the time. So that's my concern with these lows. One or two more. I'm not going to spend too much time on these because we know the deal. And then the innovation, speculation stocks are getting destroyed. Here's Amazon. Okay, on weekly had something, daily. You never, amazingly, you finally got one bullish candle. Check this out. And it doesn't even work out that well, where your deep hop level really should be 96. This thing should not be under 90. You're trading 84. But even if you included that as a check back, and that's a stretch, 1, 2, the first two green candles back here on a retest, no. It's just not in the right spot. And it's, 2 days ago, you had the low for the year, multi-year lows, closing at multi-year lows, and violating some patterns. It's a problem. Hold on, one second. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. One minute here. Let me bring over. Let's go to Microsoft. This is the one that it's really slow, but this is the one that's got me in terms of needing to do the retest, having a pattern like all of these, still being stronger of the bunch. But I would say we're still in a grinding type 2 return to 1974 has got to get retested. And then, just look at the 5 minute, a lot of 5 minute patterns down here, 238, basically where you are right now. That should be it. We really shouldn't see this thing pop off if we're going to complete the return. So that's a good one to look at. The hourly, yeah, look, last couple of hourly patterns here. Already failing this bat pattern. I mean, you go under really 233, close under 233, close under 234. Microsoft should shoot that gap because here's what it looks like on the hourly from your daily numbers. Your daily numbers are like that, not a stretch. Not a stretch. You would think there's something, yeah, really, but not. Just not much here. Look at Nvidia getting crushed. Down 7. This is one we talked about last week, folks, that once we failed this, like this here, just a reactive rally off the low, that's just difficult. And even if you were going to look at this bullish HSI as something, well, it checks back, continues lower, no green candle, another red. That's a failure. That's a failure, easy. And until you even had, you need to register something on HSI or amplified. You're 2 or 3 days away. That's lower. What was the other one? Meta. Although Meta's holding in there off that long-term crab, there's the weekly. 116 is the level. No HSI trigger just yet. I mean, I think it's, let me clean up that chart. Interesting that it's pausing at 116, which is the hop level, but the daily time frames, here you go. You have 1 and 2 HSIs, bearish, basically sketching out 120, 121. Kind of looks like this. This is how we should be thinking about Meta. Fail the uptrend, come on back down. Come back down again. It's just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. Okay. A couple of 5-minute things going on right now, folks. Here's the SPY, and this is going to be something where when we go to twice a week, I will go, hour and a half sessions. We can do basically the same amount of time in one less session. Here's SPY on a daily that is everything that I think helps for the next few days going into January. Are we going to get, one is 379 going to hold? Because that's your true make or break. You fail, you close under 379, forget it. So another one scratching the support. Ideally, if that's a type 2, we have confirmation you have to go back up, retest the terminal bar at 407. But on these, I would wait. I would simply wait for the breakout before I would even assume that, because there's your check back. One bullish candle. You need a second bullish candle. Today would be great, and a close above 383, not far from where you are, but you need to see a real nice close this afternoon. Need to see that today. I mean, it's today. We'll come back here on Thursday. I'll do some giveaways on Thursday. Again, we'll keep that up. A book, couple books, software. But Thursday is going to tell us what the hell is going to go down first week of January. You need a bullish candle, and I got to say it has to happen today. What's going on, chat? 10 pence. Thank you, Zachary. Cheers to you. Angel, Merry Christmas. Happy New Year to you. What's going on, B618, Richmond, Mr. Lodak, Evan, Swooping. Thanks, guys. Martin, everybody that's here. Great to have you. Also, those people that won a book and posted that or tweeted that out, appreciate that. Please do that. If you get a book or you win a book and it actually shows up to your mailbox, normally they do. International, I want, the international people, I'm more inclined to give you guys a gold membership or software access because the books aren't making it. But domestic, Canada, whatever, I think they're getting there. Post it. Please post a pic when you get that. But this is the situation we have in a lot of the daily setups, whether it's a bullish pattern or it's the completion of a reaction of the SPY. I mean, here's 5 minute. This is just today. This is something that I'm looking at right now, folks. SPY. I don't have a pattern up here, but there's the 5 minute check back. One bearish candle, two bearish candles. So what's that mean? It's pretty much go time. Go back down, retest. That's a really nice pop roll on the 5 minute. The check back was a little bit delayed, but it has everything you want to see. Do I have anything, let's say a 30-second time frame? I don't have a pattern here, but I'd be looking for the rollover down here. What do we have? Yeah, maybe you come back to this crab and retest this crab on the 30-second at 381. It's easily a point lower. Oh, there's the shark. So we do have a pattern on the 30-second time frame. This is micro levels here, but 382.80 and shark targets are like 381. That's a little something for today. Probably down into the close. Fires the 5 minute. So the 5 minutes already, you're in business now. Check this out. Come on down. Remarkable. We just rolled over 10. We were positive. Now we're down 7. NASDAQ is off 110, 115 actually. And the Dow's up 120. I don't think that will last. But that's a perfect 5 minute check back rollover, and your stop loss, okay, is just above that high. Really could be moving this. Is that a 3 bar? Yeah, you could start moving this down to a 1 bar. Check it out. You've got both. This is nice. Here's the HSI check back. 1 and 2. That second bar, agreement bar, closes under the 1, 2, and 3 bar range clearly. That was at 382.40. Now you should start the march lower. Bar over bar, next 5 minute time frame. Keep that on your charts. US 10 years up to 2.6. DXY, I'll look at some of that. I'll look at the rates. That's a little 5 minute thing. Something we've been talking a lot about. Let's see how that plays out. But if you're looking for intraday positioning, that's a way to do it. Especially with that second bar. I mean, check back officially didn't happen until 15 minutes ago, and then 1 and 2. Come back to that. Where's QQQ? Really quick. QQQ down 280. Oh, didn't get the full check back. Real shame. That's a tough one. Got to wait. Those that you don't have the check back or you don't have a pattern. Is there a pattern? 30-second something here? Oh, nice. See, I've talked about this of looking at 30-second charts for those micro patterns on 5 minute time frames, all for day trading purposes. So this was a 5 minute trigger up there, but you had some patterns. And I would be, come back down to retest this crab 264, 260, whatever, and change. Somewhere around 264 for the day. Keep an eye on that one. Yeah, if you guys hit the likes, hit the subscribe button, especially when I start doing more one-offs, kind of unannounced things during the day. Plan on doing a few more pop-off kind of strategic videos in addition to the Tuesday, Thursday sessions. Anyway, keep an eye on that one. Let's see how that shapes up. The 5-minute, like I said, for Qs and SPYs. Look like that's about it for that little bounce for the day again, or just here we go, coming on back down. Most likely coming on back down there. Brutal. This is one of the most brutal years I've ever seen, quite frankly, folks. Not only in terms of magnitude, but just flat out start to finish degradation, just annihilation. Annihilation. Really quick, and speaking of annihilation, take a look at some annihilation here. PayPal, okay, just gave a second bullish candle on Friday. There you go, check back. No, we didn't get the second yet. Still waiting for that second. Here's another candle deep in the zone, retesting the zone. 71.62 is the XA, hop at 62.58. So somewhere between this is the big harmonic debate, harmonic challenge. Do we hit it closer to the XA or do we wait for the hop? Tell me what's happening in that zone. Because we're deep under the XA. Here's the first check back on as it hits the zone. But we're waiting for check back, green candle, green candle. What happens? We get a second green candle. We get another HSI as that second green candle materializes. We're close. But I want to see a breakout. I want to see something that comes together here. A little 1 day, 3 day breakout. These are so oversold. They're setting up in an ideal fashion. It's just that it will give you, if it's going to go, it's going to give you plenty of time, no doubt. That's why breaking up above like a 3-bar range, getting above like at least this tight area above 70, or even breaking above yesterday's high and closing above it is critical to getting something started. It's someone's asking about Tesla. Tesla's the same deal. It's hitting major numbers. Hitting major numbers. I mean, 113, I'm sorry. I don't know where these people think this stock's going to, but 113 is a dream. Now we need triggers. Now you need a couple weeks. The problem is, not really a problem, but don't be surprised that if Tesla's going to try to do something at 113, it might take 2 or 3 weeks and then finally trigger at, say, 130. I'd rather wait. But you're at numbers. And that's half the game. Getting yourself at that point where it's a retest. It's got confirmation. It's checked back. We're way in front of this. Like PayPal's one of many that we've been way in front of. But now we're just waiting. They're waiting for that second bar. I kind of like Tesla. I mean, I'm real tempted to nibble at some calls here. But it's been down every day. Here's one that has worked out quite well for us. I've mentioned this last several weeks. Bristol Myers. It's a big daily, weekly. The daily, I know HSI. Where'd you go? Weekly. It's a bigger weekly, and I think 60 is a target. 65 or 60. No, 55's our minimum type 1 target. This is a big type 2. But look at that follow through. Another bearish candle to start the week, breaking down under the lows. That's what you want to see, and you want to see this thing start to fall out of bed. Go back to 55. Okay? But something like Tesla, folks, look, if you wanted to take a shot, the only deal here is that it has to roll over, has to turn around right here. I mean, there you go. You're sitting right at the hop. And I would only assume anything would be a reaction. Anything on 4-hour time frame? No, not yet. Not yet. Nothing. Even a failed look. You failed the crab. No confirmation. No HSI yet. But it's sitting on a weekly level, and I will pay attention. You do have other things like, so here's the other one. Prime example is ARK. Okay, made new lows for the whole deal. The whole move, I mean, it just finally hits the hop. So here you go. It's a big shark. We've been waiting for the hop level. It's in the zone, confirmation, but what do you need? Hey, I need at least 2 green candles. I need to see this thing, now that it hit 30, hold 30, and then start to reverse. You're days away from that happening. You're down there, and this is the big retest we talked about, but give me 2 or 3 days, and that could be this week, go into next week. I'll tell you what, failed today's low, goodbye. And here is the poster child for failed causes. And that would be Coinbase. There you go. This is what is shaping up for the ones that are going to go to single digits. There's no confirmation, no bullish pattern, nothing really there. Nothing. Sorry, the 4-hour chart. Yeah, an ABCD, but nothing really there. I just think it's going. You're just going to drift lower. That's what happens when you don't have confirmation, and that's one of the reasons why you want to wait 2-3 days, 2 days with a 3-bar breakout. Totally wrecked. Totally wrecked. Sure. Yeah, Berkshire. Actually, it's really interesting you say that. Berkshire Hathaway, I think, is going to be one that look for Warren Buffett to really take some victory laps here. But pattern, because his relative performance is a hell of a lot better than these FANGs, and he was proven right on crypto, or he thinks. But even Berkshire. So pattern right off the bottom, I don't care what it is, I'm going to respect that pattern. Around 314, 315 is that the extension level for the shark. You're coming back up there, maybe a pop, maybe as high as 321, but that would be about it, because, you know, take a look. Longer term, I think you're going to be stuck at best in this sideways range, and you're kind of hitting what potentially could be a right shoulder. But this is 2023 for Berkshire Hathaway, and that's it. Again, a lot of these that have done well, I don't expect them to do much more than go sideways. Monthly, there's something there on the monthly too. I have to come back to that. No, I think there's a couple of those type of stocks. Here's J&J on the, there's J&J on the daily. Check this out. This is like Coca-Cola, and Berkshire Hathaway is interesting too, but this is even better. So J&J, as great of a company as that is, it's like Coca-Cola and the rest. Look, it's still going to respect the patterns. You're not going to be able to hide out into this if it's got a bearish shark. Give me a type 1 to 167 minimum. or come all the way back to 162 where we had a Gartley. We were on this one from way back this summer. The big retest would be back down there and then go. So even in your safest of areas, you've got bearish stuff. You've got bearish patterns, some overbought HSI, and I just think it's no matter what, you're going to have to wait on things like this. If you're going to want to hide out in those defensive sectors, what are they showing you? Here's Coca-Cola. Around 64 is resistance, and I know the weekly, there you go. Check it out. Beautiful Gartley. Went straight to target 2, HSI, all of that's at 64. Checking back right now. I would look, we still need one more bearish candle on that, but the opportunity, the long, super long opportunity is a retest of that pattern on the weekly. So I'll watch this. Hey, maybe it goes just blast straight off. I don't know. I'm more inclined to say that this is stalling at 64 with a whole bunch of things going on there. Would come back down, that's a different story. A couple more of those type of stocks. Here's DuPont. Weekly. Check this out. Beautiful. I mean, that's a beautiful pattern. DuPont on the weekly. This is one I had posted and I missed the entry by about $1. But now you have bearish HSI. You're at the end of target 1. Even these kind of stocks, like what does that say? Would have to come back down, right? Would need to come back down and retest to really be something. That's how I look at that. Not what people want, but it's Harmonic stock on a weekly basis, 54.76. That's your retest level. That's something to look out for come next year, because especially the fact that you brush up against 72, which is target 2, and you can't get above there like 7 weeks, and you can't pop above that. That's about it. Definitely. One or two more. Here's Russell. Okay. Russell on the daily IWM ETF. Look, since the last, there's a couple things. The bat pattern, it's almost a perfect type 2, really close. You are just slammed between, look, you have that bullish pattern right there. That's around 170, and the zone for that crab should be more like that. I would say it's more like 165. Couple of patterns though back to back, and even IWM, those two patterns, and the profit target off of this bullish structure, basically 188, is about as good as you're going to get. If it pops back up on the downside, still lower, 170, 165, until they grind it. And this is another issue I currently have with major indices, that you have 2 bearish patterns on the Russell. Okay, Russell 2000 ETF, the IWM, that's 2,000 companies. What's that showing you? Reaction of a bullish pattern. Come up, back down. Can't get through. We're back down. You need to see some fireworks down here, like at 165, or you got real problems. And this third test is what bothers me. Normally, maybe 2 tests. This is almost 4 tests. But under these lows, we'll know really fast. Again, you fail the last 3 days, and you go into the end of the year where you're still lower, this will give way. And it's like the NASDAQ, it's like Apple. Here you go. All of these fail those lows. It's such an area of congestion. that if they give it up here, like S&P, like the NASDAQ, I think NASDAQ is probably the closest to threatening it, then you've got problems. Couple more on these big stocks. So JP Morgan is another one that I would watch out for. On the weekly, it's this counter trend HSI. Basically, you're capping the move, the rally that started from 105 to 135, and that's it. I don't expect much out of this. Here's your daily. And the daily has some more patterns back lower that should be retested around 102. You have a lot of unfinished business here, folks. A lot of unfinished business. And as I say that, S&P rolling down, losing it. Hold on. Let me bring up this other screen. Remember that 5-minute SPY? See how that went? Go to the SPY chart. There you go. 5-minute SPY. Yikes. Now how do you feel? That's really starting to take over here, folks. So our 5-minute SPY that we identified at bar number 2 right there for acceleration, yeah, now you got it. Now let that flush down for sure. SPY puts, perhaps. Hold on one second. Fix my, there you go. Now I'm down 12. Futures are down 12. You need a trigger. It flies, it dies is asking if March, April 2024 is going to be the low, not 2023. We'll know. Folks, I would say a week from Thursday, when we do that show, first Thursday show of the year, we'll know how bad it's going to be. We'll know whether or not this thing is going to completely fall apart, and then you just get out of the way. I mean, you don't commit anything until the thing is a complete washout, because that's what will go down underneath these lows. And starting with Apple, it will start with Apple. SPY breaking down. What's the ES futures? There you go. Oh, here it is. Notice we didn't get it on the ES futures. That's interesting. What was the Qs? Somebody remind me. Oh, the Qs fell short too. So really just on the SPY. And here's what you look for. Come back to that last HSI signal. Or if we get a pattern here, what's the 30-second? We did have, there you go. Check out, look at what it's done since that last couple of patterns. Remember, we came back down. We're looking for that crab to get retested. So that's setting us up as a target. 381.33. Still down on SPY till that gets hit for today. Not what you want to see. Still rolling down though. I don't expect that to change. What's going to stop it? What's going to change here? Other than a couple of days of work. And you don't want to be involved while it's trying to set up. A lot of these are getting down there. I mean, again, look at the daily stuff that we talked about generated on the TradingView platform. Things like the shark turns into a 5-0, the QQQ situation on the daily, retesting some numbers, but a little bit lower. QPQ. Come on. There you go. That's the daily QQQ right there. And so you're under XA level. Finally today, it's the butterfly retest, which we've been targeting for a while, but again, check back. Even if we still need a bullish candle. And today, you're not only going to go bearish, but you close under Friday's low, under 263.50. I would say then there's nothing but go for the hop. Go for the hop and then probably come back down for a secondary signal. That's what's at stake for today's close. You can't do it if you can't do it in the next 2 or 3 hours and basically manufacture some kind of rally here where you can get above some prior highs from last week or even Friday, again, this then starts to really bleed right straight into January. All right, speaking of bleeding, I'm going to run through crypto top 5 really quick because I think it's just a matter of time. Ethereum, number 1. Not going to spend more than a couple minutes. Okay, notice, I'm just going to put up a couple of things to notice with the patterns that we've been talking about, whatever the market is. 1225, notice that Ethereum refuses to close above 1225 now. Getting rejected left and right. I don't expect that to happen immediately, but you just need to close under 1200, 1180, and then you run for the hop at 958. There's nothing stopping that. 958 minimum. Number 2, Binance Coin. For those that can short it, that are looking for entries, my recommendation is to know that 1228 is going to get banged a few times. Pull up a 5-minute or hourlies probably at this rate. There you go. Oh, that's a crazy wick. That's insane. What happened there? Hold on. Yeah, these scam wicks run it up $4 or $5 and then right back down. You do have a shark there. I'm more focused on stuff like this, a 4-hour prior HSI at 253. Here you have a bat pattern on the 4-hour. This is failing. I mean, look, perfect type 1, and it comes all the way back down and fails the hop. Pretty ugly. You know, all the way down, now sideways. I think this continues to drift lower. Use the pattern. I mean, I don't think this pops above 250. If it maybe a small retest. And here's the daily HSI for BNB that certainly on the downside once these bars fail, because there's the check back on BNB. You have 1 and 2. Check back bar, 1 green candle, second agreement candle. There you go. 239, that should be holding. Okay, I would say pretty much under these lows, under 235. If it's so close, I would expect this thing to come back maybe 240 area, but you see it under 230, then the whole thing fails. I think it failed. It's failing already because of the number of bars. It's a dud. You are 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, almost 10 bars sideways. You're just doing nothing. It's just zero. It's just zero response. I say it's on the downside. And I still think, weekly. Go to your weekly levels, even a check back, or what's your last bearish situation on HSI? That's at 300. The bullish HSI support around 205. I think it goes to 205. Bitcoin, I mean, it's just, look, you will look back on these days and wonder if you're in Bitcoin as it continues to make its way to 11,000, why you just didn't jump out and get back in at a later date. There is nothing here. If I was looking at this, if this was Blockbuster Video, I would say looks like Blockbuster Video chart before it went bankrupt. Now, Bitcoin's not going bankrupt, but the price action is just lower and lower and lower over time. There's nothing there. I don't even want to consider it until it's probably a 4-digit phenomenon, meaning under 10,000. Number 4, Doge, for your speculative juice that has dried up. And we talked about that. Doge, 4-hour bat pattern. It was a type 2, not doing much. There's another bearish pattern, 6 cents maybe. Down here, about as ugly as it can be. We knew that return, look, we knew this bat was a reaction up to target 1, had to come back and retest the bat. It did it with a shark. But crypto is devoid of constructive price action, devoid of any constructive bullish price action, period. And that is best represented in our number 5 crypto, Solana, making new lows. As we crawl into the end of the year, Solana, done. Almost under $10. Yeah, we have a pattern here, blah, blah, blah. The hop at 236, that's where this goes. Going to the hop. If you have a pattern in crypto, it's going to the hop level. Treat it that way and just stay out until these hit hop levels. Maybe Solana's a buy at $2, but it's not a buy here. Evan says, if Ethereum ever gets its act together, would I create a Harmonic NFT collection for fun? Boy, I know people do that. I've talked to a few people about maybe doing NFTs of charts, like the first chart. I don't know, the first chart of the first Gartley I ever created, or maybe a chart image of like some of the first patterns I ever traded. But I just think the whole NFT thing, yeah, I mean, it's just not me. I could probably do something, but let me think about it. Again, next year is the year for changes, so I'm open to changes. I would consider that, Evan, after I have a little more time. My focus is going to be more on the option style trading. Sit in front of the screen for 2 or 3 hours and give it a hard run. A few days a week, 3-4 days a week. Get back into that. Not all day. I can't do all day. 2-3 hours. Do 1 or 2 things Tuesdays and Thursdays, and identify stuff. Like here, like this 5-minute deal. Little 5-minute setup. SPY put options, 383 SPY puts that close out today or Friday, depending, especially because of the week. But that's more interesting, especially since the whole speculative cycle is toast with crypto. So I wouldn't even touch it. It's not worth your time. If you guys want action, good action, it's in the crypto market. Yeah, Adam, I don't know. I think so. There's a question. Adam's asking, how has Cathie Wood allocated so much money? Listen, those people got burned. Those people that put money in ARK and the rest of them, they're hurting. A lot of the guys that got burned in crypto, I mean, think of Scaramucci. The mooch lost. I think he took a cataclysmic loss this year with his FTX investment. Basically knocked off the block. What is the Scaramucci thing? Anyone know that Scaramucci symbol? Scaramucci. What's his fund? Got to see if I can find that little ETF thing he's got. Anybody know what that is? It's an internet thing. It's like an ETF. I forget what his deal is, but his ETF is like down 95%. And Cathie Wood, all of those, here's another one of those innovative things. Teladoc. Okay, I use this for my doctor on virtual visits, which I never had done before COVID. But you tell me about Teladoc. It's probably somewhere around 2164 is the shark on the daily time frame. Look, we know it's a type 2 deep crab. I need to see some bullish candles in the zone. So you're under XA level finally. We've been saying maybe as low as the hop around 18 because it's a perfect type 2. And HSI is coming there. But again, maybe I'll consider it. But Cathie Wood's buying that thing 50, 60, 100 bucks. And this is one like Zoom and the rest. 260, 300 at the top. Amazing. There's your weekly. Amazing. 300 at the top. But I need to see some confirmation. I need to see some green candles. If we can see this continued bleeding into the beginning of the year, yeah, it is. It's real trouble. And I still say hop level on all of these. It is CRPT. Thank you. Yeah, it's the Skybridge CRPT. I think it's the Skybridge First Trust. Yep. This is another one. This is just like the Cathie ARK thing and the phenomenon that these people created. Sure, they probably sold 5% or 10%, which was more than enough to set them up, but the rest of it got destroyed. That will have to go bankrupt, folks. That will have to go out of business. There's a bunch of these that are like that they're going to have to literally go out of business. Here's another one. This is that Silvergate. They were with Alameda, and this has just been a short seller delight. Another one, 220, now 16, probably goes bankrupt. You would want those to go bankrupt for sure. You want to see those go out. Let me go to something else. I wanted to show one or two more crypto. Speaking of specific crypto, here's Chili's, and this was a textbook education lesson in type 2 returns. And someone did ask me about this. Again, folks, this type of stuff, when we're on the type 2, forget about what was up here just a month or two ago. I want to know what's going to be down in here in a month or two. So that's 8 cents or maybe even 5.4 cents. That's what you need to see. And that's an example of how deep these all need to go. Here's DOT. Yeah, I'll look at DOT. Okay, I see why you're bringing that up. Okay, I mean, it's got crab, butterfly, HSI down here around 450, but no check back, no 3-bar breakout. And why would you? I mean, DOT is like all of them. They're all the same. I mean, here's DOT. There's a better history on Binance, okay? DOT at its inception came in at $2. I think that's where these go. That's where all of these altcoins go. They need to go back to 95, 99%. Dr. Colossus is saying he wants to look for an entry between 250 and 3 on DOT. I don't know why. Why would you? Why not? I'm telling you, you're going to be better served if, especially at this point where we are now, for you to wait for 3 months and give me 3 months of, or 2 bullish green candles that don't continue making new lows. And even if it went to $2, $2.50, I'd rather see it stabilize for a month, 2 months, hold one monthly low, and then do a breakout as the first sign. The first sign. Edward T, 28. Yeah, I think DM me. I'll check that out after today's session. Yeah, I hear you. Adam's saying there's an exact thing at 423. I'm saying price action, folks. Sometimes it's better to just to step back, all right, and show me individual price action. Something like this kind of thing where you're breaking out, go back to 2020 on the Binance feed where the monthly went sideways for a few, 4 or 5 bars and then broke out. Here, you're doing the opposite. You go sideways 4 or 5 months and you break down. It's not where you want to be. I just, here's another one that's like that. Okay. Ethereum Classic is one we mentioned a while back that, had some lower numbers. Weekly, where'd you go? Yeah, it's back down. There's the bat hitting the bat pattern. I know also there's, here you go. Okay. There's a big bat pattern it's generating off of that. Just hit the 886 around 15 and change, but no confirmation. I mean, this too could go as low as the hop at 877 and then trigger. It's just a lot of these have not shown you anything to be worthwhile. And not that it really even helps anymore, but the total crypto market cap, it's like Bitcoin. It's not, there's nothing here. There's not a bullish setup. There's not any kind of like even healthy trading behavior. This is just kind of sideways. Not able to break above a prior high or even give you any kind of impressive rally off of these lows. It's just sideways down, sideways down. So don't look for something that's not there, please. And there's going to be plenty of time for all of this. I just don't, there's no signs here in crypto that say we're even close to a bottom. So enough of that. Okay. Couple of more. Here's some great stocks that are moving well. Here's Boeing. I want everyone to be looking at Boeing on a 5-minute chart. Check out Boeing. Great action on a lot of great patterns. Okay, that's the daily and 5-minute. Now here's we're at target 2 at 193. There's type 1, real sloppy, ugly. What was that? 170? No, we didn't get to the target 1. So I guess we could really say it's still a type 1. Need to see HSI though. Has not generated yet. The 5-minute signal for Boeing. This is one I would look at for sure. Come on, where'd you go? Where's the bearish? I had a bearish. 1 second. There you go. I didn't have it selected. Great intraday patterns. Okay. There's the bearish. Didn't have it selected. Another 5-minute. It's a type 2 ideal setup here for Boeing. Where is a day trade? go down to 187. It's a target too. It did a really quick type 1, come back, and now come 187. But that was, I've been following Boeing and what's the other one? Boeing and Caterpillar. Both of these moving quite well for the type of stocks they are on 5-minute time frames. Look at the last couple of 5-minute patterns getting generated. ABCD, Shark. And now we're up on the weekly. I know we're hitting, this is probably close to all-time highs, but we're hitting major pattern levels with this hop level, HSI weekly, checking back. You still need 2 bearish candles. Is that all-time high? Almost. That's amazing. Caterpillar almost at an all-time new high. But it has a big bearish pattern, needs 2 weeks. Here's Deer, about to trigger. So these are up there. I think they're close to triggering weekly confirmation and then give you the check back. But I said this last week, a lot of the ones that the defensive stocks that have held up are hitting big patterns, even short-term stuff. Here's Deer, target 1, 385 off that ABCD. Just kind of getting stalled up here, but that's right in the zone, what you want to see. Let me go to some energy quickly. Here's energy, and let's look at XLE in general. Check out the daily. Here's the daily check back. Right there, and then 1 and 2. So your second green right there. That's kind of what we need to see with the markets. XLE looked like garbage a couple weeks ago, selling off early, then gave you a daily HSI. So 1 green candle, 2, bang, that should at least give you a little counter trend rally. We have a bunch of weekly, monthly resistance. That's what's going on up here. There's your weekly deep crab. Let me bring the other platform here. Here's XLE on TradingView. Go to the weekly. There you go. So the weekly XA is at 90. You're at 88 now. All right. Daily time frame. Yeah, you'd registered a recent HSI bullish. I expect that to continue to get squeezed between 92 and 88. But you do have confirmation there, and some of the ones that we highlighted, again, they're just going to take their time. ExxonMobil, I would expect that. Here's the weekly. Whole bunch of patterns going into, let's look for this to make the bigger move in the beginning of the year. They take a lot of profits, I think, right in the beginning of January. XLE has a monthly check back, folks, and we'd get a second bearish candle on the close by the end of the week. That would be big. That would be big. So you see how the monthly time frame is starting to play out. XLE is same deal. You're saying what on the 1 hour? What's on the 1 hour? Oh, real nice. Okay. Who said that? It flies, it dies. Thank you for that. So he was saying on the 1 hour we have a pattern, and here's 1 hour XLE is a real nice type 1, but this is why we do what we do. Here's the type 2 and hits the hop 87.68. You check back, you need one more bearish candle It's not a go yet. And ideally, I'd want to see it under 87.50, because then if it can stall here, look, by the end of the day, you are looking for the return to 84.35, but it's not ready yet. Need one more bearish candle, one more bearish 60-minute candle to set that up. Richmond is asking for Oxy. Yeah, one of the most overbought. Same deal. 1 hour Gartley, it's a type 2. All of that around 64.65. 64.77 is the exact top. That has to be the peak for now. And I know this thing has gotten hit in recent weeks. There it is. So Oxy did have a really nice type 2 bat pattern. Check this out. There was type 1 from August, and then came back into the zone on the return. And now another, incredibly, hit that target 2 at 61.25 perfectly. Keep an eye on that. The real devastation for Oxy is it's under these lows. So we were taking profits all the way back in here, and even in here. We were out of energy earlier this summer. Hasn't done much since. My concern is if you break that and you go under 60. That's a big one, and I know a lot of people are piled into that because Buffett's in that. Here's Marathon Oil. This is a beautiful bat pattern. I'm looking for this too. Been out of this for a while, but if it comes back for a type 2, that would seal the deal. Could happen early in the year, and then energy takes the dump. Definitely. It's because crude oil itself is not doing anything constructive. Crude oil is just continues to languish. There you go. Oh, nice. Almost a perfect bat pattern. I think it is off the COVID. No, that's what, the December 1 year low. Big bat pattern. Okay. Did that clip it though? Hold on. Let me just do a backup measurement. Yeah, the exact low was 886. Software is pulling off of that low, but you know, I'll take a secondary shot. I'll look at that low because that does matter, and it's spot on. So maybe you're in a reaction right now. Interesting to note though, these are crude oil futures, light sweet crude. So it did bottom at around 70. And you would look for a type 1 no matter what the pattern time frame. I look for a type 1, but check out what's about to happen here. HSI is hitting the overbought already. So if this maybe rolls down in a day or so and HSI rolls lower, crude's not going anywhere, and that would set up for those other stocks to be kind of the next leg lower for those crude stocks. They're not, it's a bad position. It's a bad spot. 1 second. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Brutal. 1 second. Okay. Couple more. Sure, WTI. Thank you. Same deal. This one a little bit better. It's at its target 1. A couple of small patterns here. But again, notice how WTI, light sweet crude, they're all hitting overbought HSI. So If this rolls over tomorrow into Thursday, don't be surprised if that starts. Don't be surprised if that starts. And Nat Gas, look at what Nat Gas has done or not done. Okay, Nat Gas came all the way back to the shark. We almost hit the hop at 466. But even if we were looking or trying to target this higher off of, check it out. So that was the first sign that we saw since the bearish signal. We got the bearish trigger on Nat Gas, said, look, this is going to come back down. It did, and we're looking for the check back, but look what happened. Check back, red candle, red candle, red candle. 4 red candles. We're still we need 2 more days on Nat Gas before this can be a valid type 2. All right, and that could go as low as 466. That's why Nat Gas is doing what it's doing. It just simply has not given us the stabilization that you need to see. Gold. Okay, yeah, gold did the move. Gold's probably done with this move today. There it is. It's a couple of things. A daily, where is it? The daily time frame it's a reaction on the daily off that ABCD, basically 1820. It's been a target, I think it's 1829. And I would, this is about it. Here's the 4-hour chart. 1830 is a type 2 bat with a crab. I mean, you got a bunch of things here. And I think you're looking at the peak there. For now. Yeah, that should be, that's it. Beyond that, no, I think gold's not going to do much. And it's, you have, I'll go to the interest rates in a second, but you're at a point where, hold on one second. You're at a point with gold where that failure to get above 1830, that's been a target for a while, and we have to come back to 17 or 1650. We have, let me go to this other platform here, because this is, I know on the futures chart, we were looking at that a couple weeks ago. There you go. Let me bring this up. Oh, look at that. 5 minute NASDAQ just went bearish again. Yikes. That's not good. You've got another 5 minute NQ continuation about to go lower, folks. I'll finish up with that, but let's look at GC on the daily. Daily is a bat pattern. Oh, that's 1897, but no, that's not what I'm looking for. What was the signal here? There it is, 1831. So I know we talked about this on a continuous futures chart. So that target 1 just got hit, and it's getting clearly rejected against the after the reaction. We went from the hop, 1621, all the way up to target 1. That should be about it. And then you come back down. Where's HSI on that? Yeah, HSI is overbought too. Doesn't look like it's in any spot here other than reaction. And that reaction on the weekly's over. So, and there's the last couple of years, you know. That's a high-level bat pattern that even in your best conservative case for gold, like let's say gold is going to be stuck in a multi-year range like that, okay? The support range is under 1700, and it's kind of like we got to go back a ways to where we really started to break out. It's, you know, kind of like this. this bad pattern back here in 2009 after the financial crisis. Makes sense. And yeah, there's another one too. But that failed. That failed. Under 1600, if that breaks this year, the whole bull market's over. Just be aware of that. I expect it to maybe stay in this range. Not much between 1650 and so to 1925. That's probably a better range to consider for gold. Beyond that, I don't expect fireworks. You're not going to see anything until the Fed officially stops raising and actually starts cutting. We are at the end of that season, though. I mention that almost every year, I think, coming into December, where late December, always seasonably bullish for gold. But that's it. It usually runs its course by early January. No different here. Let's look at and wrap up a couple of charts, critical charts. This is a big chart, kids. This is the 10-year yield, and look at what's going on. This has been very important because we said all along, nothing can change until interest rates do something dramatic. They held the hop at 345 beautifully and went into a target one approach at 389. This is the 10-year yield, and it's doing it in a strong manner. Take a look at what's going on. HSI is expanding into the overbought. All of that, this is the number one chart that really could put a hamper on equities early in the year. You see rates spike up to 406. Okay, that's going to flush the market. And I would follow that chart. Even if you don't trade bonds, don't know much about bonds, follow the rates. We know what's going on here from a harmonic perspective. It's that daily pattern. It has a weekly bullish HSI reading. Okay, if you were bullish on the markets, that's not what you want to see. And with that, even if we're just going to take this weekly pattern independently, I'd have to say this is going to come back and retest. Do a check back. A little longer check back, but still valid, where you come back to 430. And that's quite a bump. That is quite a bump. That is certainly, if you had cause for concern where equities get squashed, it's because of this chart. That's the problem with it. You're not going to see this stop until we do check back. This is almost like an automatic mechanism that even on the daily time frame, look, the daily reading, and this is a high-level bet. It is in play. It is taking off 390 to 406 on this move over the next 5 sessions, 7 sessions. It's that close. So if you come back around and then, all right, give me a reason, give me a reason that I should continue buying puts intraday. Well, I'll take them on the 5-minute time frames. I'll especially take them. Look, if we fail, this is the thing I want to leave everybody between now and Thursday. If we fail 379, if we don't pull in a bullish candle today or tomorrow, then 355 on the flush, go back by first week of January, because that would fail the bullish reading. It would fail the type 2 return setup. It's under 375 and 379, and it's a close under. That's how you know it's going to get bad right off. And the interest rate chart is a problem. So mix that in. So you see the SPY, it's sitting on the ledge. Even for today, there you go. The 5-minute time frame. I would still say this is rolling over on the 5-minute for today. A light volume day. This week's going to be super light volume, so no surprise to see the grind, but there's nothing bullish here. There's no reason to be buying this down here today into tomorrow or really at all. Got to be patient. Wait on it. And then here's the other chart. Probably should be focused on more of it. The VIX, day-to-day action. Whole bunch of bullish patterns. And we know the deal around 21, as low as 1980. Those were the ranges. All right, we did hit a bearish HSI right here. That was about a week ago. That's why we're not following through, but doesn't matter. That can still go sideways. What you'll be not afraid of, but if you can combine this, where if you see VIX close above 22 or above 23 and interest rates start to move, remember, we still have this target one at 27.80. All the reasons for pressure on the market with the rates and the VIX and the bearish patterns. Euro USD currencies. I really should hit those on Thursday, but I know what you're getting at because they've had phenomenal runs, but they've got trouble too because a lot of them did type 1 reactions. Check this out, and I'm going to I'll leave it here. Euro daily, okay? Big type 1 reaction, massive, more than 1,000 pips in 2 months. Currencies don't move like that typically, but check it out. HSI and a check back. Okay? Give me 2 candles. We need a check back, which we got today. And we know this is still a reaction. The big event that will happen, and talk about options for currencies, which sometimes are a better move. Sometimes the options on commodities and currencies is a better play than the spot. I mean, sheer on minimum risk involved, but this is another one. We know it's a type 1 reaction. 107.52 it's already been hit. I mean, that's your max level for this reaction right there. The one thing that has yet to happen on any of this, why not there? Because you didn't break the trend line. You had a check back, 1 and 2, but was there a 3-bar bearish reversal anywhere? No. That's why if you clear out and start to roll down on Euro, yeah, you will shoot the gap. Extend that over to the DXY. It's going to be the last chart. That got crushed. But look at what happened. This got crushed, and we're sitting on a massive bullish pattern, bullish bat pattern, hop at 103, stabilizing. And the dollar came off this much, and the stock market didn't do much at all. So for these secondary kind of ancillary markets to pay attention to, which would be interest rates, 2-year, 10-year, US dollar, the VIX, doesn't have to do much. Something like this, all it has to do is a 3-bar breakout. Hold the 103 level, and that would set in motion at least a type 1 up to 108. Remember, we've got gold sitting at the other side of it where it's at its targets. And they usually run inverse. So if gold's done, makes sense. The rest of it, let's come back Thursday. I will have some new 3 ideas I've held off for members because there really isn't a heck of a lot setting up. On the bullish side, you see how these need at least 1 or 2 days. On the bearish side, a lot of them have just kind of been, they don't have confirmation yet. Pretty close, but you guys got me. All right, here's the one that I did want to share with everybody, and I'll get on this on Thursday, but this is an area I'm targeting for shorts. Chinese internet stocks. Okay, this is the thing. I'll be posting some ideas on this very soon, but I'm ready to hit some of these Chinese internet stocks and let them go down. That was Alibaba. Here's that the PDD Pinudo. Big bat pattern. All right, that rally is almost done. JD. This one not as nice, but almost getting there. K-Web. These are on my radar for shorts. Look, K-Web at just above the hop. Okay, stalling at the hop at 30.71. That's a nice area. I want to start looking. Okay. We'll talk about that on Thursday. Give away some more books. Folks, here's the deal. I did want to highlight, go to harmonictrader.com. Okay. And everybody, my goal is to introduce everyone to the other platforms. So become a basic member. And I want to let everybody know that we're going to roll out a couple of things. And on Thursday, I'm going to have a few specials. We're going to give everybody a shot at the Pro platform. And especially for currencies, I like the MetaTrader program as well as eSignal. So if you guys want to try any one of those, please click and go there. Go to the MetaTrader. And of course, get with the TradingView platform if you're not with that yet. And send your username to HPC at SR-analyst. I'll have a few more updates on this for Thursday. Come on back, some specials, some giveaways, and get with the Discord. If you have any questions, reach out to us there. Thanks again, everybody. Great session. We will be back Thursday, 12 noon Eastern, and then next week, again, we'll start the schedule Tuesday, Thursday, 12 noon Eastern. Till then, have a great one. Go get them. Catch you next session on Thursday.